Hello everyone, welcome back to Anmoll Astrology channel. Now today's video is about Sade Sati for the natives with moon in the 11th house. Now first of all, before understanding the Sade Sati for people with moon in the 11th house, we need to know that Sade Sati does have fundamental effects. The first phase is always the very transformating and changing one. The second phase is more so good for some people, but for some people it can be bad. But that in order makes a person very strong. Why? Because moon experiences the heaviness and practicality of Saturn. That's why it is able to digest and adapt with a lot of things. Adapt as in not like adjustment, but they get to understand and they get sense of coldness within their heart, because of which they don't get affected that much. That's so they have been getting affected when Saturn was 12th from the moon. Then we have the last phase. Usually, it is said that everything that you have lost in the first two phases, you're going to get back in the last phase. But that is not at all the same for everyone. So, the condition or the predictions for your Sadasati are much dependent on which houses Saturn is transiting, how is the condition of your moon, and also which planets Saturn is transiting over, right? So let's just dive into the explanation of this. Now, if your moon is in the 11th house, every time this happens. Okay, so if moon is in the 11th house for you, that means your Sadasati is going to start when Saturn is going to transit in the 10th house, then the 11th house, and lastly, the 12th house. I'm very conscious right now while speaking because my daughter is just sleeping by my side and I'm just so scared to wake her up. So please, cooperate with me today. Okay. So when Saturn comes into the 10th house, first of all, for this individual, their Sadasati is going to be all about their career, recognition, society, social networking, expenses, responsibilities, productivity. So for an 11th house moon, see, when moon comes into the 11th house, your mind is about desires, right? You desire a lot of things. You have huge desires. You want to do something which is way beyond something which has been done by other people. So you're visionary because that's the original domain of the sign of Aquarius. So definitely you are a person who wants to explore, who wants to present their expertise, or who wants to do multiple things so as to do something for other people. Right. And this is a moon placement for a philanthropist individual as well. But also they want to associate always with most of the influential person, and they are very careful of how their image is going to be out in public and how much are they being appreciated or recognized. Right. So that's why, first of all of these things are going to get affected for you. Why? Because Saturn coming 12th from your moon placement, it is going to create that responsibility, that pressure subconsciously, which is going to be because of either career or your social image. Maybe something happens in your life due to which you are fearful about your image. That is going to make you wake up during the night as well. And it could even be your career. Now, whenever Saturn comes into the 10th house, the very first remedy that you have to do it, you have to get aligned with your career, with your routine, with you have to give structure to your career and whatever you do in a daily life. How productive you are. Are you sitting at home idle, or you are going out doing something for yourself, for society as well? See, what is a person's profession? We do, we do make a career to earn a living out of it. We make a career to have an identity. But also with that, we are providing the society. We are giving something to the society. We are making something available to them. So that's in a way also social service, right? It's just that you are asking for a fair remuneration for it. So first of all, Saturn coming into the 10th house, it wants you to be fair, not fear, fair with your karma, because that is the house of karma. It wants you to work hard. I'm telling you, the more you work hard, the more better results you are going to get in your life. But 10th house Saturn is, I won't say it's an easy placement to have. It is not even an easy transit to have. But if you work according to the requirements of Saturn, it will give you the results. Then you won't feel that it was all bad. So, first of all, this Saturn can tarnish one's image. So that's why the remedy would be that you have to be careful of your image. You have to be structured with your documents related to government. If suppose you have some loan, you have to keep it up to date. You if suppose earlier I was watching a reel where they were telling that it is very important to get the NOC whenever you pay off a significant role, but because otherwise if you don't get it, it can be misused by the bank. I don't know if that's true or not, but that just got into my mind that that is the kind of situation which can happen here. So you have to be careful with your interactions with authorities and your interactions with government. So whatever that connects you with the government, you have to be careful with that, right? So Saturn, wherever it comes, it restricts that house. So because of restriction, I always say the focus and determination comes in, right? So that's why whenever Saturn comes into the 10th house, it makes you focused towards your karma, towards hard work, right? It says that you have to be at service. You have to bow down in front of people. Always try to put aside some amount of your earnings towards the society. Donate it for someone who is maybe less privileged or whomsoever you like. You have to just do a plenty enough for them, right? Now this Saturn is going to aspect its third aspects on the 12th house. That's why you are going to become workaholic. Do you know one thing? Whenever Saturn comes into the whenever Saturn comes into the 10th house, it is actually the best placement to have, the best transit to have, because it is going to start stabilizing your career. If suppose you haven't had a stable time within your career, or it's just the matter of time, like you are just trying to survive within your career, this Saturn is going to give you opportunities which may bring obstacles along with them, but it is definitely going to give you stability and a very strong foundation within your career. So that's why you're going to become workaholic, and at the same time your sleep is going to get affected. So you are going to find it extremely hard to have peaceful sleep, to meditate, and at the same time you'll have to work hard towards either foreign travel or uh, getting the support of foreign government. And at the same time, when you will be working all the time, and since it is the first phase of Sade Sati, there's a lot of pressure. There's pressure of responsibility, there's pressure of money, there is pressure of career. At the same time, you would look to go towards spirituality, and it is going to be the hardest for you to go towards spirituality. You would want to go there, but it becomes so difficult to do that, right? Then the seventh aspect goes on the fourth house. Your mother is going to be very supportive mother, and somehow you are going to get support from your homeland, your home government. You might also want to, maybe, I would typically say you would want to buy a house, but I do feel that if you're trying to go overseas, you might take the help of your mother specifically, since you already have moon in the 11th house. For some reason, it could be financial, it could be something else, but you are going to take the help of your mother for something or the other, like in some way or the other, for your career, and also for your foreign travel or even foreign settlement. So the mother is going to be supportive, or the home environment is going to be supportive, right? And also this shows that law is also going to be supportive of you. The 10th aspect goes into the 7th house, karma associated with marriage or spouse. You have to work really, really hard towards your marriage and towards connecting with your spouse. Why? Because you're all the time here working. Then how are you supposed to give time here? So that's why it's a very hard working situation towards that. But at the same time, you're going to pay off your karma with other people. That's why you are going to get criticized within your workspace. And also, if you are into business, you're going to be criticized within your business. So this time is actually emotionally, it is not the best. You are going to feel lots of mood swings, lots of, feeling empty or feeling affected internally, emotionally, not feeling good about things, feeling dissatisfied. You're going to feel all of these things. And even your career, sorry, your spouse or your marriage is also not going to be in very best terms, because there is definitely a karma associated with it. So even so, it could be there that your spouse criticizes you towards your career. They mention some things because of which you feel that I'm being criticized about my career or about being responsible within the marriage. So the first phase is going to go this way. The next phase, the peak phase. So Saturn is going to come here. This is your social circle, your desires, your network circle. It is also associated with MNCs. Most of all, I've always seen when people go through Sade Sati with, moon in the 11th house, I've seen them having very dual results. They can either face a huge loss because of a company, because of some firm, right? Or they can actually be recognized. So these are the two extremes that I've seen happening with people based on their charts, based on the planets involved, and also based on their dasha. But definitely it is there that either of these two extremes happen for them. It's not that they are not going to get the fulfillment of their desires, but it's like that is going to get delayed. You are going to feel that push, that delay in the fulfillment of your desires. Now when Saturn comes into the 11th house, what happens? Your social networking suppresses. right? It restricts your social circle. Now you might not have so many friends as moon in the 11th house does. When moon goes into the 11th house, it's like you're saying hello to everyone. It's not that you have so many friends or close friends. It's like you just say hello to everyone. You're just nice to everyone, right? Although this also gives way moodiness to an individual, but still whenever the event comes, you are just okay with everyone, right? And at the same time, this Saturn is actually going to restrict your horizons of desires. It is going to actually give you, see, if Saturn comes into the 11th house alone, not over moon, that is a totally separate scenario. You may get recognized, you may get recognized for your career, for your work, you'll gain, you'll have opportunities. But when moon is in the 11th house, this Saturn is going to give you the greatest kick of your life. Whatever you used to desire, that I want Ferrari, even though you know that you will not be able to afford it, like in the next 10 years, maybe. I'm not going like totally you cannot afford it, not like that. But if suppose you know, practically internally you know, but still you desire, I'm going to get Ferrari. I'm not doing anything, I'm not putting any work inside, but I'm going to get a Ferrari. So this Saturn is going to hit you so hard that you would understand what to desire, what you should desire actually. So it actually refines your perspective towards your social circle, towards desires. There could be something significant that is going to happen between you and your friend circle. And that significant event could lead to your, detachment from them. It would limit your social circle, right? Because there could be some situation that would happen within your social circle, which would actually, because of which people are going to criticize you. And then you'll have to step back, or you'll have to put a fair distance with them. But again, when it's about career, because of everything which is happening around, the things I mentioned, you are going to go towards your career. You are going to become cold with your emotions, and you would want to just go towards your career and being recognized, and also towards social service. So when Saturn comes into the 11th house, try to be service oriented towards your social networking. Like suppose some or any of your friend, maybe from a distant friend or just a known, asks you that I want a favor from you. Try to go and help them without even asking anything in return, or try to donate some sort of money to NGOs, because 11th house is also associated with NGOs. Okay, so it's like you just have to put up your service. You can even go and do some, charity work within NGOs. That is actually going to help you a lot with your mental satisfaction, and also with this Sade Sati of yours. Now, the third aspect of this goes into the first house. So whatever happens during this phase, right? Whatever happens, that is going to make you work really hard towards your health and towards maintaining your self-esteem. Because, first house is self-esteem, and it is also confidence. Okay. So working really, really hard towards the first house area. And that is going to be triggered because of whatever is happening here. Right? The seventh aspect is going to be on the fifth house. At the same time, this can even initiate marriage for you, or even childbirth, or romance, any of these things. But this also shows that you're going to get way creative, and your creative self-expression is going to help you being recognized. So this is a good time period for having fame. Now, if we are talking about fame, fame is not that you're going to get recognized in the whole world for something. It could be that, but fame simply means you're going to get recognized for your talent and skills, right? And since the third aspect of this, Saturn is coming into the first house, this also shows that your skills and your personality is going to be something that has to be a prominent part of those 2.5 years, and which is going to actually fulfill the karma of Saturn in the 11th house, right? And you are going to get immense support from speculation, shares, any investments that you might have done earlier, and even children, right? And then the 10th aspect goes into the 8th house. You'll have to work hard towards maintaining your secrecy. See, again, this is getting connected with this placement. There's going to be some karma associated with some secret activity of yours, or secret activity, or something secret that you know. You have to work hard towards in-laws. If you are married, since this placement can even initiate marriage. I don't know how I caught cold. Now, you have to work towards obtaining inheritance, although you will be able to get it, but that is going to be there with struggle if you're planning, or if there's something associated with inheritance. There's going to be some karma associated with sudden events in your life, right? Now, the 10th aspect in the 8th house also shows that you have to work hard towards marriage, because 8th house also shows marriage and also one's sexuality. It's actually the 8th and the 12th house, but 8th house, whenever Saturn aspects the 8th house, especially you can say with the third aspect, or with the with the 10th aspect, this generally means that you get fears regarding sexuality, or you just find it very hard to connect sexually with your partner. So that's why you'll have to work hard towards that area. And also this means, if you have some secret encounters with people, that could also be one reason of, your problems within the Sade Sati. Right? Because see, Sade Sati is all about doing the right karma. Sade Sati talks about, you are going to get instant karma within your Sade Sati. Sade Sati is like that the bag full of your karma is opened, and there is someone who is noting everything down, and marking that this is done, that is done. And the moment you do something bad, it just notes down and it just gives its decision, and instantly you get it. Instantly you get the karma. So in Sade Sati especially, if one day you are doing bad to someone intentionally, not unintentionally, the other day it's your turn. So you'll have to be very careful with that. Now the last transit is going to be the Saturn in the 12th house. Now I have always said, especially with the first house moon and the second house moon, that Sade Sati for people who have their moons starting from 10th house to the second house is always the most transformative, and also they have the Sade Sati for longer period of time. Why? Because when Saturn is going to go into your 12th house, it is going to act as a double transit. of Sade Sati. Why? Because it is going to be like that you have 12th, you have Saturn 12th from your ascendant and 12th from your moon. And I personally refer to the transit of Saturn 12th from ascendant in the ascendant and second from ascendant as a part of Sade Sati only, because it will give you those results which you can expect in Sade Sati. But it's just that Sade Sati is more prominently affecting the emotions of an individual. But this transit is affecting your health, your body, but not that much with your emotions. It is going to affect the emotions as well, but not 100%, maybe 80%, 90%. Okay, so when this time comes, so for people with moon in the 11th house, actually, this last phase is most transformative. By this time, you have already started learning about astrology. But when Saturn comes into the 12th house, you're going to go deep into astrology. You're going to look for spiritual places, places where you can feel at peace. You're not sleeping well. You're unable to sleep well, having restless nights, having constant dreams. Even if you wake up, you would feel that something was going on within my mind. I was thinking something, right? So that's what this Saturn does in the 12th house. It will give you the pressure of responsibility, and especially financial responsibility. Your finances, again, just like this phase, again, they are going to come into play the most. Right? You would try to suppress your expenses, but somehow some moment is going to come around where you are going to do the expenditure. There is a requirement for you to take out your money and spend somewhere. More so, it's about provision, because the third aspect of Saturn is going to go into the second house. Working hard towards savings and working hard or providing the family. You have to make efforts towards your lifestyle. Even your health is going to get affected at this point of time. Right? So this is a phase which is going to actually affect you subconsciously, and because of that subconscious pressure, you will feel the restlessness regarding all the rest of the areas of your life. And you would definitely isolate oneself. This can even initiate your travel, but more so it will do either in its retrogression period. Right? So the 7th aspect goes into the 6th house. You are actually going to receive the support from legal matters, or your enemies somehow are going to unintentionally or unknowingly support you or do something in your favor. When Saturn comes into the 12th house, one legal issue also arises. See, most of all, you would hear on the internet and everywhere else that when Saturn comes into the 12th house, you'll have to go to the court. You'll have to have a court case on you. But it's not every time true, but it does activate you either visiting hospitals or visiting courts or something of that sort, which is associated with 12th house and 6th house. It also can initiate you going to gym, because you have to take care of your second house and your 6th house. What does that means? Your digestive system. Since Saturn in the 12th house suppresses your expenses, that means that you might overcome your debts during this time. Okay, but 12th house Saturn can also initiate debts in the beginning, but by the end of its period, it will suppress your debts. Okay, so this transit is actually a little, not a little, but very, very transformative for an individual, financially also, emotionally also, and subconsciously, spiritually also. Now, the 10th aspect goes into the 9th house. Working hard towards one's belief system. Since you might be getting so many dreams, you are going to wander here and there. You're going to look for answers here and there. That's why you entered astrology when your Sade Sati started. Most of all, I've seen everyone to get into astrology the moment their Sade Sati starts, or especially in the second phase if they are not introduced for some reason in the first phase. So you are going to doubt your belief system some of the times. You're going to work hard towards obtaining guru, obtaining mentorship, or if you want to travel for higher education, this particular transit will actually activate that, but it can delay it or make it difficult to do that. So there's some karma associated with travel. Right? Since 10th house is, 9th house is also about your father. You'll have to work hard towards father. Father's health can also get affected. Okay. So guys, that was my analysis about Saturn Sade Sati for the natives with 11th house moon. So I hope this helps you. And if you guys are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And if you guys would like to have your personal readings, you can check out the link below, www.anmollastrology.com. And under the reading section, you can book a personal reading for yourself. And under the unique reading section, you can book a unique reading for yourself. Okay. See you in the next video. Bye-bye. Take care.